Shut up and sit down.
Welcome once again to the Shite Talk podcast show. I'm your host Mark Kearns on episode 109, joined in studio by Gus.
What's up, guys?
What's crack? We're here, I guess anytime you're here we're going to probably at some points follow on the comic books.
Yeah, that's my life. It's my sad life, Mark.
You're constantly reading comic books, whereas I've kind of fallen off the wagon in terms of reading new comic books. So I think on today's episode, what we're going to be doing is probably maybe a few comic books, the new comic books that you are reading right now that you suggest that people should read, and we'll get into some more cinematic universe and TV universe stuff as well.
Sounds good. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah. So I guess I'll start off with a few of the books. I remember you recently started reading a few of the black labeled DC comic books.
Yeah, I was getting real fed up with I was reading the Spider-Gwen series.
Yeah.
And what I'm really not enjoying with most comic books now, comic book series, is that you're reading the series and then you're getting editorial notes saying, because you get lost, you're like, wait, what's happening here? And then you have a little editorial note saying, oh, go and read like Spider-Geddon or Into the Spider-Verse or this other branch or this other series to tie in with it. And it just started pissing me off. So, I was at Comic-Con last month, early last month, and I went up to, the Big Bang comic book shop out in Dundrum, so shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
And I went up to the guy working the till, and I said to him, I was like, look, I'm kind of lost for something to read, I don't want to start a new series. Can you recommend anything? And he'd introduced me to DC Black Label, which are just standalone stories.
Yeah.
Using like Batman, I think there's a few Superman ones, there's a Wonder Woman out there. And it was a comic called Batman White Knight, which is about the Joker becoming sane and running for mayor of Gotham, which is one of the best comics I've ever read. Yeah. Really good, which
is basically Superman's storyline with Lex Luthor just told as Batman and Joker.
Well, I've kind of noticed if they do that a lot with the Batman and Superman stories. Because another Black Label comic that I read was Joker. Yeah, I think you've read that as well.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. But a couple of months after that came out, back in like 2010, what was it? 2009? 2010 maybe?
Yeah.
Straight away they brought out a Lex Luthor version of it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I've never read Lex Luthor.
I haven't read that either, just because I don't think Lex Luthor is the most interesting character. I know some people love him, but he just doesn't do it for me.
I think he is, but it has to be the right story told about it. I'd like a book, and there probably is one on this. This is probably what the Lex Luthor book is about his childhood growing up and his where he comes from adolescence into adulthood. And what kind of changes it? Yeah,
my actually favourite Lex Luthor story is the very early seasons of Smallville.
Yeah,
I thought he was like, I liked him in that.
Yeah, I like that's what I mean in terms of like, a person like that, because when you start off with a person who you can really relate to as a person and seems quite nice and genuine, and how someone like that is turned into the Lex Luthor that tries to take over America.
Yeah, but I kind of, if I actually prefer Lex Luthor than Superman. Superman really annoys me as a character. He's too much of a Boy Scout for me.
Yeah, he's a poster boy. He's meant to be the quintessential like post boy for good. Like what everyone should aspire to be is what Superman is, and he's really athletic. He's because he's like superhuman. Like I don't think he should play American football. Like you're cheating. That's like beyond having roids. Like people could be on steroids. People could have steroids and you still blitz them. Like you'd be the most athletic person that ever lived ever, and there's nothing anybody else could do about it.
Yeah, I just he doesn't. I don't know. I don't think I've ever read a Superman comic.
Oh, have you not?
I don't think so. When I look back on it, I don't think I've... Oh, sorry, I have Superman Red Son.
Yeah.
Whereas when Superman, which I actually think is a black label.
Yeah.
Yeah, the very early days of the black labels. But I read that was a fantastic comic. He crash lands in Russia in the 1950s and Russia take over the world, win the Cold War.
I think he works great as a character for the Justice League.
I do. I don't know. He just doesn't do it for me.
Even if you look at all the classic DC kind of Justice League, like War, like Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be the same if there wasn't a Superman character.
No, I get it. He is the original superhero.
Yeah, and Thor is like always the Marvel equivalent. It's what Marvel fans would throw on who'd win in a fight, Thor or Superman.
I'd say Superman.
Yeah. My friends always just say, "Oh, Thor just knock him down, put his hammer in his chest."
That's not Superman would get up.
Yeah, Superman would have the power of Thor.
Yeah, I was gonna say Superman's probably would be worthy enough to wield Thor's hammer. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if Captain America is, Superman definitely would be.
Yeah.
But going back to the black label, at the moment I'm reading a Batman comic called Noel.
Yeah.
Which is the story of Scrooge.
Yeah.
Scrooge, like angry bastard around Christmas time.
Yeah.
But Superman is Scrooge.
All right.
And it's about there's a petty criminal working for a really big DC villain. He's got like the lowest ranks, and he's a good man just trying to make mincemeat for him and his kid. And Batman's hunting him down on Christmas Eve. So it's Batman not giving him the night off, not giving him Christmas off to spend with his family, and then Batman is visited by the ghosts of his past. I won't tell you who they are because they're in the comic.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. Such a good comic.
Seems like something you only can read around Christmas time.
Yeah, well, I got it for a Christmas present years ago, probably around 2011. And I've been reading a lot of comics lately. I've just been getting stuck into comics.
Yeah.
Reading comics most evenings now. And I was like, I haven't read that in years, so I'm reading it again now. But yeah, I should have held off until Christmas time. But the artwork in it as well, I can't remember the name of the artist and the writer, Brian something.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, because a lot of my comic book reading was through having tablets, and just reading through the tablets. And now, I would have a pretty big collection of comic books if I had bought all those comic books.
I need the hardbacks. I like having my shelves.
I can understand. Yeah, I wish I had the hardbacks. If I could go back in time, but the only thing it would have been getting a bus into town, going to Forbidden Planet, and buying comic books, because that was the only comic book store I knew that would sell actual comic books.
Well, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Really needs a comic book store. Do you think a comic book store would work nice?
There's a lot of hipsters around. Yeah, I think it would do all right.
Especially if they sell coffee.
Yeah. If you could read a comic book in a coffee store and bring it back, if you could you didn't actually take it out of the shop, but you could just sit there with a coffee and read, and you're
have some sort of ironic muffin for hipsters to have as well.
Yeah, it could work. Maybe if PS Roasters teamed up with Eason's Bookware or something like that.
Yeah, that's his house. But I was living in Dublin, so I was able to walk into Forbidden Planet, Sub City, relatively close to Big Bang as well. Have you ever been to Big Bang comic book shop?
No.
In Dundrum, it's a great shop, man. Real American style comic book shop.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
No comic book I've been thinking about for a while, and it's one that when you buy on a tablet, you can preview comic books instead of buying them. So I used to preview a lot of them, and wait a few months and they get kind of drop in price a bit. When they first come out, they're really expensive, but so I kind of preview and I kind of keep it in my head. There's one comic book that I have no idea what the name is, but it's the Justice League one. It has the Blue Beetle in it. And ever since looking at this preview, it always made me really interested in this Blue Beetle character. And it was the Blue Beetle, they were trying to solve some mystery. This is going to be a very vague explanation, but if anybody listening that knows the name of this comic book, let me know. It's the Blue Beetle, they're trying to solve this mystery. And Blue Beetle has a hunch of who it was. So he gets all the superheroes and Abe Lincoln who was a superhero as well, apparently. They go look around this year, and they all like flashes go around the building. They can't find nothing. Superman X-rays through it and can't find nothing. So no one believes him, but he knows he's onto something. He ends up going to like this it's like place of covered in snow, and he flies his Beetle ship there, and he has to sneak into the kind of this fortified building, takes out a few guards, but end up getting killed.
Blue Beetle ends up getting killed.
Blue Beetle, yeah.
Oh, shit.
But it's really tragic. The whole story behind it is kind of like superheroes didn't believe Blue Beetle, and he was always this underrated character who was like, he was a bully, and then he ended up coming to Blue Beetle. And I always kind of like, oh, that's a really, really good idea for a story. Now I know the new Blue Beetle is quite different. They've kind of made him kind of like an Iron Man kind of type of figure. He has alien technology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I've never read the book, but I've always wanted to know what the name of it is. It's one of my regrets of not reading.
Yeah, you should find that. My thing at the moment is comics. I read when I first got into comics in my late teens. The likes of Long Halloween, Nightfall, Civil War, and they're some of the first comics I ever read. I really want to start reread them again, especially Long Halloween, because I think the new Matt Reeves Batman movie is going to be based around that.
Yeah,
and I think Nolan's Dark Knight was going to be based around that as well.
Yeah.
But comics I haven't read in years. Under the Red Hood.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the first comics I ever read. Well, yeah, I'm kind of having a comic book renaissance, like personalised. Renaissance for myself.
I actually started reading. I think one of the issues of the kind of the Flashpoint, the one where they're meant to bring in the Doomsday Clock. Sorry, not Flashpoint.
Yeah, that's on my list.
Yeah. That I see, and what I did is like I went online. I was looking for an issue. I wanted to buy the series, so I was looking for maybe a book that had a couple of books in one.
Yeah.
You just usually do a compilation book, and I got the nearest thing that I thought it was, and it wasn't. It was like halfway through the story. This is where they just discover there's Flash is kind of figuring out that there's something wrong with the Flash Force, and there's like he goes back in time, and then he realizes there's a trouble in it, and he thinks it's Reverse Flash behind it.
Yeah. So
he's kind of going into that kind of storyline. But I haven't been actually read anything since. I know, like in it, not to ruin it for you, but like Bruce Wayne meets his dad in it.
Hasn't he met his dad a couple of times now?
Has he?
I think so. Yeah. It's the problem with comic books. It's like, no one stays dead.
Yeah. So that's a huge problem with comic books. I'd like if DC or Marvel did a series where they have a start, middle, and end to characters. So like they have, let's say these pick the 60s. They start in the 60s and introduce characters, and then they die off, and then another hero takes their place. So like let's say Spider-Man. There's only ever one Spider-Man. You know, there's now a new Spider-Man.
Well, are you talking about the Superior Spider-Man where Doc Ock takes over his body and...
No.
Or the Miles Morales.
Miles Morales.
Yeah.
So you always have like, even in the the Titans, where they have the junior superheroes of like the junior arrows or the kind of junior superheroes. And
yeah.
There's always a second generation who's going to take over for like Batman or Superman.
Yeah.
I kind of think that's, well, maybe Superman's story is quite good. There's a few that makes sense. Well, instead of making Miles Morales, why can't because it isn't something like he inherited off your gene. He was bitten by a radioactive spider.
Oh, that's familiar.
No, but like Peter Parker was bitten by a radioactive spider, so his son shouldn't have because it wasn't like it mutated his like genes, so it shouldn't be in his like. So if his son, if you had a son, he shouldn't have spider powers. Or maybe he would.
Well, I remember there's a comic. It was very controversial. This was a couple of years ago. Where because Peter Parker was bitten by a radioactive spider, his blood and his bodily fluids were radioactive.
Yeah.
So MJ ends up getting cancer because Spider-Man's been blown his radioactive load inside her for years. And I was kind of like, I think they corrected that. Like they were like, yeah, we're just gonna forget that ever happened. But
I think that's a really interesting story. Like, does he have a kid that then has radiation poisoning?
No,
His kid dies, she dies, he's left alone, he gets to shoot himself in his apartment.
That's a comic I'd read. That's a comic I'd definitely read.
Do you know? Yeah, I like the sound of that comic book.
But yeah, because he killed off Wolverine there a few years ago.
Yeah, the kid, he melted aluminium.
Turned him into an aluminium statue. Adamantium. Adamantium, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. As far as I know, he's back now. Yeah, but
that's what I mean. Like, if they killed off like Bruce Wayne, and then Robin took his place, or one of the Robins took his place, maybe Damien turns into the Batman but has samurai swords, which would be quite cool.
That would be really cool. To bring him back, they'll never permanently. I suppose Uncle Ben is dead.
Yeah, and I also want to see like tragic deaths, like it's like, you know, like in war, where people lose their lives all the time in war.
Yeah,
we never really see that too much in comic books, and we never see the aftermath of somebody grieving. Like if a superhero dies, then let's say like Superman takes his revenge and goes like really brutal on the person, and then realizes he's turned into a monster or something like that.
And that's it. Yeah, he was like, oh well, I'm not going to lower myself to your level. Yeah, and then he's kind of over the whole thing.
But the superheroes just don't die, and they're too afraid to kill off characters because there hasn't been a unique new character in a while.
That's years.
That you can think of. Yeah, that's a solid character.
I'm trying to brainstorm now, and can I think of one good character?
There was a character that was brought out in, I can't think of her name, but she was trained by Tim. What's his name? The other Robin.
Tim Drake.
Tim Drake. Yeah. Trained by Tim Drake, and she had purple hair, and she was like a really techie. It was in this kind of New 52 character.
Oh yeah, I think I do know who you're talking about.
She was brought in. She was a kind of new character that wasn't a bat or something like that. But I'm sick and tired of all these. There's like a bat for everybody at this stage.
Yeah, and a Robin for everyone. And yeah. It's just
exactly. Create a new character.
Yeah, well, I was gonna argue the point. Spider-Gwen.
Yeah,
I thought it was a great character. But again,
that's the series that I really want to read now.
It's really cool. It's really abstract art.
Yeah, the artwork looks class. If it's anything like the movie,
it is kind of. Yeah, it's that weird abstract art. But Into the Spider-Verse is just such a good movie, man.
Yeah,
such a good movie. I really regret not seeing that in the cinema.
Yeah.
I'd say that would have been pretty mind blowing. I watched it on my laptop when it was available for download. But probably the best Spider-Man movie. In my opinion.
Yeah,
I'd argue it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, really hard to argue against it. Would you prefer than Homecoming?
Yeah. Far From Home was really good.
Yeah,
very good. But obviously with what's happening now with Marvel and Sony, it's gonna left a bad taste in my mouth with that movie.
Yeah, it's really weird. What are they going to do with Spider-Man?
Yeah, because Tom Holland is still playing Spider-Man. I think that's great because he is the best Spider-Man to date.
Yeah,
but I think his whole story's been built up that he's like the guy's going to take over for Iron Man. Tony, because when you really think about it, Tony Stark's death was meaningless because one of his things that drove him to do it was to save Peter Parker, bring Peter Parker back because he lost the kid.
And exactly, and the kid's now lost. And plus he had a tech kind of suit. He was taking over he was like the techie Iron Man kind of character there, even though he was Spider-Man, because his suit he had kind of gadgets on a suit. They could he was learning to use, and Tony Stark built it for him. So he was the next heir, even though there was a little boy who was in that series. In the third Iron Man, he gives all his equipment to...
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
He was at the funeral. So that was kind of a precursor to... He's going to be... In a few Marvel movies' time, he's going to be Iron Man. They're going to bring him back as the second Iron Man.
Which I could get into that, but... Have you seen Far From Home yet?
No.
Again, it's a really good Spider-Man movie, and he's grieving the death of Tony Stark in Endgame, and Tony Stark, spoiler, leaves him pretty much his arsenal of tech.
Yeah.
And you have this great movie. Jake Gyllenhaal's amazing as Mysterio. The ending sets up a really cool third movie, and now they're taking Tom Holland. Sony are taking him back, which we were talking about this earlier. I totally blame Marvel for that.
Yeah, definitely. Like, they had a pretty good deal with Sony that made it very, very lucrative for Sony in order to come into partnership, and you get a very key character, and you're gonna make a giant amount of money off the Marvel movies anyway.
Yeah.
And all they're looking for is royalties for all the royalties for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we want some of the Spider-Man money as well.
But it wasn't Marvel all like the merch? They're making all the all the money off their merch from the movies, which is still huge money.
I think it was like, I don't know if it was 80-20 or 90-10.
Yeah. I think it would have been 85-15.
Yeah.
I think I read that somewhere.
But like, that's fair because you sold off your characters. And like 15% of $1 billion is still a fuckload of money.
Oh yeah, and all the merch, all the toys, and
oh yeah, exactly. Like, they
lunch
still
boxes, t-shirts.
Yeah,
they got all that. Marvel got all that. So they were making billions off it, millions.
Plus about the comic books, like, kids are gonna grow up getting the comic book movies because they've seen a Spider-Man movie and read Spider-Man comic books.
But I think Sony are gonna throw Spider-Man back into their Venom universe and just destroy the character again.
I'd love to see, you know a comic book that came out years ago where everyone in New York had spider powers?
No, I didn't know that.
Alright, there's this comic book where pretty much everyone has spider powers. So there's like this bank robbery, and all the bank robbers have spider powers when they're breaking into it. Yeah. Everyone in the town gets like this, has spider powers. So it's really good. I haven't actually read the book. It's one of the ones I previewed, never actually got around to reading. But yeah, it's based around that. And I think that a thing was, I don't know if Peter Parker's actually alive in it, and I think it might be where they start to introduce Miles Morales into the comic book.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of really, really interesting, the fact that everyone has kind of like spider powers. They could introduce it with the Venom universe there because of having Venom. You could maybe, I don't know how you get that everyone has it, but it'd be something very, very different, or maybe even an animated movie.
I think an animated movie would be great. But yeah, I think they're going to throw him into this movie. Venom's now an anti-hero.
And Venom's, I guarantee it's going to be Spider-Man and Venom working to take down Carnage.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's how it's going to go.
Or one of the other Venoms, kind of symbiotes. Isn't there 4? I know there's Carnage, Venom,
Toxic.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think there's 1 or 2 more. I can't remember their names. But with that movie, because I think one of the most iconic moments in comic book history is when Spider-Man gets the black suit.
Yeah.
And like, Spider-Man getting the black suit should be as big as Captain America picking up Thor's hammer.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It should be up there where that, because I remember watching Endgame in the cinema, and when Captain America picked up that hammer, the whole cinema would start cheering and clapping. It was a huge moment.
Really?
Yeah.
What cinema are you in?
It's in some IMAX cinema in Amsterdam.
Okay. Because like, this would not happen. No, we would not tolerate clapping.
No, we wouldn't. No.
Like, get the fuck out.
Shh. But yeah, it's really cool. But I think Spider-Man getting the black suit, finally getting the same age, should be up there.
Yeah.
You know, one of those like mind blowing moments. But it's not. It's not going to be one of them. It's going to be thrown together.
Really badly done. Get Tim Burton.
Really badly done. You know, I think Andy Serkis is directing Venom 2.
Yeah. Uh,
I like him. I
Do
like
you?
Andy Serkis, yeah.
Tim Burton all the way. Let
What?
make that movie that he wanted to make. Let make the third Spider-Man movie that never was made.
Tim Burton was going to make a Spider-Man movie?
Who am I thinking about that made the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man?
Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi. Why am I thinking about Tim Burton?
He was going to make a third Batman movie.
Yeah.
And then he gave up on that. He was going to do a third Batman movie with...
Yeah. Sam Raimi. Bring Sam Raimi back.
I think they'll do a live action Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
I definitely think they're going to do that eventually with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Who do you think they'd get in to play? Oh, they'd have to use... What's her face? No, that's Spider-Man 2.
Oh, are you
Gwen
like
Stacy.
Yeah, they'd probably bring her back. Emma Stone.
Emma Stone Savage.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you see that photo of her as Cruella de Vil in the new Cruella de Vil movie?
no.
Oh man, she looks amazing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you should check it out. Yeah, it's a really cool picture.
I don't think you're meant to be attracted to Cruella de Vil.
You'll be surprised, man. You'll be surprised. Yeah. But I think they'll do a live action Spider-Verse movie with Tobey Frogface Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and it's just gonna go to shit. And then eventually Marvel or Disney will buy Sony, and they'll probably I'm optimistic that they will bring them back into the MCU eventually.
That's a very big claim that you just made. They go, I just think Disney will buy Sony.
I think Disney are gonna...
That'd be up there with them buying Fox. I know Fox is a slightly bigger deal than well, I don't even know, because like Sony owned PlayStation.
Yeah, but Disney owned everything else.
Yeah, I wonder if there'll be like competition laws against that.
I think so, because then that makes Disney like a monopoly, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Like Warner Brothers really couldn't compete with
They'll probably buy them then.
No, you can't have a Marvel and DC under the same flag.
I'm telling you, man, 10 years time, like I could see it happening.
Imagine if Disney bought DC off Warner Brothers.
Well, to be honest with you, I think like Warner Brothers should let DC go away. You know, the shite they're pumping out these days.
Well, actually, like the Joker movie looks fucking brilliant. I think that could possibly win an Oscar.
That's what they're hyping it up big. Yeah, they're hyping it up big.
They should be like, oh no, it's a very average movie. We shot this low budget.
Yeah,
we're hoping it'll be good.
I've been looking at early reviews, man, and people are like, oh, it's mind blowing. It's Oscar worthy.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Like every little snippet that came out about the movie, but prior to Batman vs Superman, everything was the same. It was only when they came out that all the bad press. I remember listening to a lot of reviews and listening to comic book shows. Popcorn Network had a DC review show,
yeah,
and they had it before any DC movie came out. So they're just clutching at straws for a full year. That's like talking about this build up to this Batman versus Superman movie and how great it was going to be. And that was getting standing ovations when they played it for Warner Brothers. Everyone was like cheering it. It was meant to be amazing. Then it came out and they're like, yeah, we fucked up.
Yeah, I think Batman vs Superman is a very watchable movie.
Yeah, it's like for the shit that I got, it didn't really deserve the shit that I got. But remember, I was in school when they started announcing that they're gonna make Batman vs Superman movie, and that was gonna come in 2018. And I was like, that's so far away. And I think it was like 3 or 4 years before they actually was meant to release it that this movie was coming out. And
I remember they released a trailer 2 years before it came out.
Yeah. And they just got like, and then Ben Affleck got was going to be Batman, and then the internet was like jumped on like the hating DC bandwagon, and then even though he was a pretty good Batman,
he was a fine Batman, but it's as I was saying to you earlier. I watched Batman Begins on The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And I only watched them last night, and I was like, God damn, they're so good. They're so good.
Yeah, see, and that's what they're following. They're following that brilliant trilogy, and so people had that on that level, but higher. And if like DC were very honest with themselves, they said they wanted that Batman to be in the universe. But what they had to do was they had to create a different Batman because Christian Bale didn't want a Robin in the movies.
Yeah. Oh, I do think. Oh, because I remember when you were like, it was inevitable that DC were going to try and do a big shared universe like Marvel just had.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, I was like, launch it off. You can. There's some way. There's writers out there who could make it work. Who could launch the DC. The DCEU.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could launch it off the Nolan trilogy and bring Henry Cavill's. That's what I was hoping to do. Would somehow bring Henry Cavill's Superman into those movies somehow.
Yeah, I think I'm nearly certain that there was a LexCorp in one of the movies. A LexCorp van was destroyed.
Oh, was that not Batman? That was Man of Steel.
Oh, was that Man of Steel?
Yeah, that was Man of Steel. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
they could have just like went back and like.
Oh, they should have. They should have
shot like here's a kind of Easter egg for you.
But there's actually, because I was watching the movies last night, there's not really any Easter eggs in the Nolan trilogy, or connections to the greater DC universe.
No, I think that he wanted to leave it like that. That there wasn't any other superheroes. That this was a standalone,
which was amazing.
Yeah,
definitely peaked that second movie though.
Yeah,
definitely did. But
I thought the third movie everyone gives a kind of slack about. I really liked that one.
Oh, I loved that when it came out.
And people still like Bane. Bane was class. Like, they couldn't have done a Mexican wrestling mask on your man's face and had straws. That would look like, in terms of live action, it wouldn't suit a Bane. Having him have this weird mask and talk like that did. Having him as this giant character, but if he had like that kind of mask that Bane wears and he had pipes coming out of his face.
No, I thought Bane was done brilliantly in that movie.
I thought he was scary. He looked like he could actually beat Batman. And people were saying if Superman were in that universe, we would just like he just came in and click.
Yeah, but I think he could have brought the Venom in later. You know, like, this is the new bigger Bane. I think he rushed Batman vs Superman. I think Man of Steel is a great movie. Man
of Steel is fantastic. I remember going to see it with my friend, and we were talking about how quick the fighting scenes were, and people were giving out about that. You know, the fighting scene where everything's moving really fast.
Well, yeah, he can move faster than the speed of bullet. Like, they've been saying that since the 40s.
I was trying to explain that. It's like they're superhuman. They can move at the speed of light. Of course it's going to be fast. And they're like, oh, well, it was really hard to follow. And it's like, what do you mean?
I was like, did we watch the same movie? Like,
yeah, exactly. And these are comments that they probably heard online that they're just reiterating. It just seems like people read comments to make they force their opinion. They kind of get their opinion, and then they just reiterate kind of bad commentary that they hear about the movie. If they kind of were like on the fence about a movie, where they go, oh, it was all right, then give them a week later and ask them again. And after they've been on Facebook or they've been on Twitter or been reading stuff about the movie, they have a completely different opinion. Because like me and my friends were when we were coming back from the cinema, we were, what did you thought of us? And I was like, yeah, we're all the same. We're like, yeah, it was all right. It was I kind of need to watch it again, kind of a thing. We need to see it a second time. There's a lot in it. And then by the week later, we talked about it again, and they're like, oh yeah, it wasn't great, was it? It was kind of shit.
Oh no, I thought it was a great movie when I first watched it. I was like, yeah, it's really cool. But I think Warner Brothers and DC made a mistake and listened to all those people saying, oh, it was too dark, it's too broody, it's too this. And then when it came to the Justice League movie, which that's a terrible movie. That's a really bad movie. I think
that's when they brought in kind of like Aquaman and Wonder Woman, and they tried to make it funny as well as being kind of dark and gritty.
I like the dark and gritty DC.
Yeah,
I have fun and colourful and cartoon over in Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we have contrast. We have both sides, and why don't you make the more grown up series as DC, where they say, okay, Marvel's for your kids or whatever, but if you want to watch a really gritty, well made comic book movie, have a look at this. Have a look at this dark Batman, this dark Superman.
I think that's great. Oh yeah,
Yeah, and
like
then-
as I have like just so I'm gone back to Black Label there. Have DC just as kind of Black Label movies.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
like you can still every now and again squeak in a kind of a colourful, cheeky character like Flash. Flash, having a dark Flash doesn't kind of make sense for me. Having a kind of upbeat, kind of funny, like kind of Flash movie, that makes sense. Or having him as a slapstick character in the movie, like that's what the animated series Justice League Unlimited did quite well. Flash was the only funny character there. They weren't all trying to make jokes or make kind of a bit of humour on it.
Yeah, but I felt when you got Josh Whedon in to reshoot a load of stuff and re-edit Justice League, there was a lot of forced humour. For some reason, everything was red.
Yeah,
Everything was red. I don't know what that was about.
Everyone was like really colourful. Yeah,
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this movie sucks. It's really, really bad. But there is a Snyder cut that it does exist. Jason Momoa said recently he's seen it.
yeah,
And I'd say that's a great movie.
yeah.
I'd say that's a great Justice League movie.
See what Batman vs Superman was meant to do was meant to be a movie that you watch, then you make the rest of the movies and you go back to it and go, oh, that's what that's from. Oh, that's like it was a very cleverly done movie in terms of all the references to this. There's like you had God Among Us in terms of the desert.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
Yeah, it kind of Batman Returns. A lot of references to that movie. Like Death of Superman kind of references as well.
That kind of annoyed me now because I kind of you had Death of Superman, Gods Among Us, The Dark Knight Returns,
Yeah,
and there's another movie kind of thrown in there as well. But well, pretty much what my biggest problem with that movie is that you tried to do what Marvel did over the space of 8 years in one movie.
yeah. That's what everyone. That's the biggest failure of that movie. I don't think we need to see Flash in that movie.
We didn't need to see Aquaman.
No,
No need for Wonder Woman in it either.
we didn't need that scene, that flashback scene of the desert. That didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
We could have had a reference to Wonder Woman. She could have came in like she could. I think if they just had her just at the edge, they see her at the party, and we don't see her for the rest of the movie until Doomsday
Yeah.
is there.
But I don't think Doomsday should have been in that movie.
Oh, who do you think it should have been?
I think
Lex Luthor. That was the bad guy.
I think he should have been the main antagonist. I think Lex Luthor, and even though Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, that wasn't Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
But I think he could have put someone like Cyborg Superman or something.
Yeah.
Like someone who's going to be a powerhouse, who's going to fuck shit up. They're going to need to team up to take him down. Because as far as I know, Cyborg Superman's powered by kryptonite.
Well, I thought it was a great idea, like to have Batman fight Superman, to rile both of them up. That they knew that there was like this mistrust between both of them. But even like something like that might have been like enough if there was just some form of bad guy.
Yeah, see, like he hadn't, like I know you had Lex Luthor like manipulating him.
Yeah, and had his mom. Like if that, I think that would nearly be enough of that, and maybe like have Superman go after kind of Lex Luthor, but Lex Luthor gets away, and then that sets up the next movie.
Problem when I saw the movie, even though it's a very watchable movie, it's a beautifully made movie as well.
Yeah.
One of my biggest issues with it was during the whole Batman Superman confrontation, if they actually stopped, and these are meant to be the world's best, you know, the two
World's greatest detective.
the world's greatest detective, the world's greatest superhero,
Yeah.
the world's champions, you know, the defenders of the planet. If they stopped and talked to each other for 3 minutes, they would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, right, now we're actually on the same side here.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think if Lex Luthor did something like made it look like Superman destroyed. Well, I kind of did do that, and it didn't he with the courtroom.
Yeah.
But then I think they should have been played off each other more, I guess.
Yeah, well, they did a really good job of why Superman and Batman, like, they just that there was this mistrust and they didn't like each other, and then there was comments between each other, so you knew that these guys wanted to fight. These two guys were like wanted to have at each other, so maybe it was more kind of ego, and maybe if that more was brought into it, where kind of Wonder Woman was kind of there like, cop on to yourselves.
Yeah. No,
You kind of could bring it in more. I think bringing Doomsday into it, even though I think it was nice that like Superman ends up sacrificing himself to save the Earth, at least then that brings on to the next movie, which I think should have been Brainiac.
Oh, Brainiac would have been good, yeah. Brainiac would have been very good.
Yeah.
But I also don't think it should have been Batman versus Superman. I think it should have been the Man of Steel 2, and you could have had Batman come into it.
Yeah.
And just focus on Superman's arc, and then have Doomsday come into the third Superman movie.
I think, like, or even having a Batman Returns movie where Bruce has been away for a while.
Well, they had that in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, but I know, but like what you're trying to say. See, you already have a Man of Steel, so you need to bring out a Batman movie where he's retired, but it's because of Superman that he comes back into it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Like this alien, where he doesn't know really anything about, so he goes after him. He tries to find him, but then ends up kind of uncovering kind of a Lex Luthor conspiracy, and he thinks maybe Lex Luthor is trying to create a superhuman or try to get over, and maybe have Lex Luthor trying to like befriend kind of Superman, get him on his side because he's trying to have him to kind of shield against Batman, because he kind of figures out if the Batman ever returns, if this Mick comes back, he'd be like his one-stop thing, so he's going to get Superman on his side.
Yeah.
And try to kind of have Superman as trying to make Batman out to be a terrible guy to the Superman. And like, here's a guy who doesn't do any due process. He kills people. He like marks them for life. This guy isn't a hero. He's killed before. And then have Lex Luthor as this kind of entrepreneur that seems like a really nice guy that does a lot for charity and manipulates Superman kind of.
Yeah, I think that would have been good, rather than have him as this crazy Mark Zuckerberg hipster.
Oh, boys.
Yeah.
What is this?
He would have made a great Riddler.
Yeah, he would. Ironically, he probably was the closest thing to Riddler that we got.
Yeah. Even the hair was very Riddler-esque. But going back to replacing Doomsday.
Yeah.
Bizarro.
Oh, Bizarro.
I think that would have been good.
Yeah, Bizarro would have been good.
Cause I think Doomsday would have been like I think he would have been fantastic in the first Justice League movie.
Yeah.
And maybe like you can have a connection, like Darkseid sent him to feel it out.
Yeah.
And after like Superman himself kill each other.
It'd be very hard to make a kind of serious dark movie with Bizarro though.
I think you could make it. I love the way I'm saying, like, I know anything about making a film,
yeah.
or, writing a script, or...
You could also have a lot of Motley Crue music in it, but then I'll make it really cheesy as well.
See, that Krypton show got cancelled.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that looked really good.
I didn't watch any of it.
I didn't watch it either, but it looked really good. I didn't know what was on.
Yeah, because they released a picture of Lobo.
Yeah,
and
Lobo would be a great movie to have as well.
Yeah, but like our coach Marius, shout out to Marius, he's a big Lobo fan.
Yeah, of course.
And so I was like, oh, Marius, I've seen like this picture of Lobo they've released, and I was like, and a friend of mine, my friend Danny, worked on the show as a prop designer or something like that.
Oh, cool.
So I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to give this a look, and then you were like, yeah, they cancelled it. I was like, oh well, okay, never mind.
It looks very good. It looked really, really good.
Yeah,
it kind of was based in Krypton itself before, like, last few years before it died. It was destroyed, and it kind of was meant to focus on families, the family dynamic of how the country was run, as like set by these like several kind of like political allegiances.
So it's kind of like political drama Game of Thrones shit, but on Krypton.
Yeah, kind of. That's what it was meant to be based around, and it's kind of like
That's a really good concept for a TV show.
yeah, looked really good. I didn't know if it was out over here, so kind of forgot about it. And at that stage, there was a lot of comic book.
Oh man, it's a great time to be alive if you're a comic book fan.
Yeah, like I give like the CW universe a lot of shit, but like
So do I.
there is a huge fan base for that, and I think all right, grand. I know like I like dark and gritty, so like, but I have all like I've like Jessica Joneses, I have the Daredevils, I have Punisher, so I have a lot of the kind of like dark and gritty comic book series that I can watch. Titans as well.
Titans is back.
Is it out on Netflix though?
Not sure.
It was out on the it was 2nd of September on not Disney, the fucking DC universe. But we
Is that thing still going, the DC streaming service?
Yeah, it's over US, Canada, and I think Asia. I think China, maybe Japan might have to get it. But the rest of the world comes out on Netflix.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
yeah, but I really liked that show. Again, watching that show, watching it with my girlfriend, and Umbrella Academy came out then.
Yeah,
and it was very, very hard to get back into the Umbrella. Get back into Titans and Doom Patrol after watching the Umbrella Academy, because that was just mind-blowingly good.
Yeah, I really liked that. I thought that was very clever. What's that based off? Is that an Image comic book?
I think so. It was what was the name of that band? Emo band back in the day. My Chemical Romance.
Oh yeah.
Their singer, whatever that guy's name is.
Yeah, writes comic books.
Yeah, he wrote the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, he wrote a few. So did CM Punk. CM Punk also wrote a comic book series.
I like CM Punk.
Oh, as a person, yeah, like him. Yeah, he seems like a very likable guy.
I like him. I was a big WWE fan back in the day.
Yeah,
and CM Punk actually kept me hanging on for a while.
Is it when they brought back? See, I as a kid I watched it, but then I wasn't allowed to watch it. My parents thought it was going to make me violent, so they did a lot of steps to get me away from like things that would make me violent.
Yeah, but you're super violent.
Yeah.
So that didn't work.
that failed. Yeah, I was just messed up apparently. So like I wasn't allowed to watch it. I used to sneak over to my friend's house and watch it, or watch it like with my cousins. But then I kind of like everyone else, go away from it. But I went back when I was about 17. I went back watching wrestling, 17, 18, and it was around that time where ECW was just come back to remade ECW, so it was kind of.
I remember that. Yeah,
it was really hardcore at the start of it, and then it kind of got shit.
Yeah, it was just another WWE TV show.
Yeah,
but yeah, CM Punk. I always liked him. I thought he was a cool guy.
Yeah. Tommy Dreamer is another person I always liked as well.
Tommy Dreamer's cool. Sandman. Yeah, Jeff Hardy I think was my favourite.
Yeah, I think Jeff Hardy was my favourite when I was growing up, and then he left WWE.
Yeah, a big drug addict or something now.
Yeah,
I think he's taking it.
The thing was like with that ECW thing, what I never understood was like because I read I watched a lot of documentaries on why they brought it back. And apparently they brought out ECW kind of series where it went back and it went about the show, and they released either on their website or their network that they just created, or they released it on DVD. But it was a huge success to the point where Vince McMahon was like, "Oh, there's still an appetite for this type of wrestling. Let's make a one night stands thing," and then that was really popular as well.
One Night Stand 2005. I remember watching that.
Yeah,
my mind was blown by how good it was.
Yeah, it was really good because like what I really liked was like CM Punk was like, or not, Rob Van Dam bet John Cena.
Yes,
I used to love Rob Van Dam, and like previously, like when they were fighting for the US title, I remember Cena always bet Rob Van Dam. It was always the last two, like them two fighting, but Cena always got, because he's a poster boy, and yeah, I thought it was so cool. Even though I thought it was ruined because Edge kind of speared Cena, and I was like, oh, it kind of took away from Rob Van Dam that he won it because of Edge interference.
I remember seeing a sign in the audience. I think you can probably put it up online,
Yeah,
and it's a fan with a sign saying, "If Cena wins, we riot."
yeah. That's what they said. They had to sneak him in. This is how passionate these ECW fans were. They had to sneak him into that stadium because it was in Philadelphia, the home of ECW.
Yeah.
That stadium's like where all the shows used to happen, and they had it in that exact same stadium, and like all the old fans were there, so they snuck him in. And they're trying to fuck you, Cena, and all. And then, like, after Rob Van Dam went up into the crowd with the 2 belts,
Yeah.
I thought it was like it was an actual sporting occasion.
Yeah, you do kind of get lost in it. You're like, oh, this is all totally scripted.
Yeah.
But that old ECW from like the 90s, that was hardcore, man. Like,
Yeah.
some of that stuff was crazy back in the day. I remember.
Well, what I don't get was like what they did with the show, because they said, there's an appetite for this. So what we'll do is we'll bring out a show called ECW. We'll start off making it violent, and then we'll just make it just like raw.
I think it was the Chris Benoit thing, though.
Oh, was it?
I think so, because I remember correctly now. He was meant to become the ECW champion.
Yeah.
But like, took the night off to murder his whole family.
Yeah.
And that's when WWE were like, right, well, we have to go PG.
Yeah.
And I think they're turning around because I think they're losing tons of money. And then there's this new AEW wrestling company coming out.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, it was TNA, wasn't it? That came out. That was meant to be.
WWE crushed it in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now, like I don't know. I couldn't name a lot of the current WWE dudes now. I think they are just holding on through nostalgia.
Yeah.
From what I can see, like on YouTube and stuff.
Apparently WWE are in pretty bad shape though. Apparently, like Madison Square Garden, there's like that What Culture Wrestling thing.
Yeah, I watched some of their videos. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I clicked on one of the videos, and they're talking about attendance records, and apparently there was thousands and thousands of seats. Like, it was almost a joke that they're still in Madison Square Garden. That there was like just rows and rows and rows of empty seats, and like coming to the point where they're thinking about CGI in fans.
Oh shit! Really, it's gotten that bad.
It's gone that bad because like what they were saying was like WWE doesn't really make that much money from attendance it's more kind of TV deals, but like if you don't have the numbers watching the shows and they're not going to the events as well, then you're not going to make the money. But right now they must be still watching, but they're not going to the shows. So I don't know how it works in terms of that, because
do you remember the late 90s, like the WWE, like what was the biggest thing ever?
Yeah. Oh, everyone like when you're younger and you said, "Oh, do you watch WWE?" People said this. "Oh yeah, I used to watch it when I was younger, but it's real fake, so I stopped watching." That's classic kind of wrestling fan. But everyone would say they had watched that at one stage.
Yeah, I remember when I was maybe 8, 9.
Yeah, but like
it was the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah, but like if you ask Spencer or Steven or anyone that's in their early 20s now, did you watch wrestling when you were younger? They'll probably say no. The majority of them would say no.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Those guys probably don't even remember 9/11.
Yeah.
Which, surprise it, 9/11 today, actually.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, those dudes wouldn't have. I remember talking to someone in work, and me and my friend Holly in work were talking about 90s wrestling, Edge and Christian and Gangrel and all the dudes.
Yeah.
But one of the guys, I could have been Dermot actually, because he was like, "Oh yeah, I remember like Batista and John Cena and Eddie Guerrero."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh no, man, I'm talking before that." Like, the Attitude DX, the original DX, and all when all that stuff was going down.
What was the guy's name who had blonde hair and he had like lips on his ass?
Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
I used to love Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
But like it had all these characters that I guess we call outdated. They couldn't have anymore.
Do you remember the Godfather and his hose?
Where's the hose at?
Yeah. Oh my God, man, yeah. I do sometimes, if I'm at home bored and I've nothing to do, I'll turn on like the 1999 Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And just the commentary even is just so animated.
I remember like Jerry the King Lawler would be like a giant pervert.
Yeah, like can imagine he like spoke to about women, didn't like today, like he did back then. Yeah, like he would not have a job.
But even like what Mankind did in his career, like falling off the Hell in a Cell, and now I think there's like a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. There's
a TLC pay-per-view now as well.
I know it doesn't make sense. Like you're just ruining like if it's a whole event where every match is the same match, it just takes the uniqueness away from.
I remember the first ever TLC match, SummerSlam 2000.
Oh yeah, I could never watch the pay-per-views because I would never be allowed to buy it. See,
my brothers have brothers now who've been in their 40s, so back then they used to be buying all the videotapes to show me.
Shit.
So one of the advantages of having older brothers.
Yeah.
But I remember watching that and I was just like mind blown. But it's kind of sad now when you see like Jeff Hardy. He came up on my newsfeed and he's done a real like Bam Margera on himself, you know, it's just kind of drug addict.
Oh shit, he's been off the pat again.
Gone off the patch now, he's just really old. Can't even do like the Swanton bomb anymore and risk it breaking his back, you know.
Oh Jesus, I feel really sorry for Matt Hardy because I don't know if he's a big drug addict, but it kind of seems like he can't really survive without Jeff being there, without being Jeff's tag team partner.
Yeah. He done a solo thing recently, but I said I don't really watch wrestling anymore.
Yeah.
Again, I think like getting into UFC and mixed martial arts and jiu-jitsu kind of ruined wrestling for me as well.
Yeah, because they're just so. None of the locks would actually work in any way.
Like a figure four. Leg lock, that wouldn't hurt at all, really. When you think about
not really. You're putting yourself into inside Sankaku. Sometimes the guy who you're figure four and has a bit better advantage can actually.
Because he grabs you. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're actually.
I think Ronda Rousey was doing a WWE stint for a while, and I was looking at some of her matches, and she was. Like, you know, legitimately armbarring people. No, not like, you know, she was.
I think some girl, if you YouTube like wrestler breaks her arm in match, like so they were doing an armbar finish, but your one must have got a bit excited and started pulling it, but snapped your one's arm. Your one, you could see it just pop up, and your one's like.
I'd say the feeling of. Have you ever broken anyone's arm?
No, I've fucked their guys' legs up before though.
Yeah, no, I can imagine the feeling of popping someone's arm is something that would stay with you and kind of haunt you a little bit, being like, does that pop? Because you'd feel it as well.
Yeah, I hear, like, when I had a person in a heel hook once, it was, you know, if you get a load of pasta together and you break it,
yeah,
it said exactly like that, and your man didn't tap, but I jumped off and went like that, and then the referee didn't know what he was doing because the match, he didn't tap. And your man was kind of shocked as well, and he goes, "Yeah, tap." So there's a second there where I just let go and go,
I think the scariest thing that ever happened to me, I was running with one of the bigger dudes in the gym, and whenever he folded me up, all my vertebrae cracked individually, but one after the other went like, and I was like, oh, and I was afraid to move at one stage.
Yeah.
And then I started like turning my neck side and I was like, okay, that actually feels pretty good now.
Alright,
I'd never heard my spine make that noise before. So and I was like,
what? It's probably just cartilage snapping. It was probably not too bad.
Yeah. Whoever came up with jiu-jitsu being like, you know, like the art of fighting without fighting. Clearly never done jiu-jitsu before, like ever.
I think it was like the gentle art. That's what it was.
The gentle art, yeah, which is not true.
No,
not true.
I think. See, I think this is probably going to be really bad history, so I don't think any of this is a fact. So I don't know why I'm even saying it, but like, so what was happening in Japan? So there's two types of hand-to-hand combat. China used to have a lot of striking arts. So that's where like Taekwondo, karate comes from.
Yeah, Taekwondo is Korean.
Yeah. And I think Chinese have karate. That's where it comes from.
I think so. Yeah.
Anyway, so they're more striking, but where samurais would wear kind of like a lot of armor. There's no point punching or kicking armor. these guys not going to find. What you have to do is you have to hold these guys down and control them on the ground if they didn't have any weapons. So that's where like the judo came from, and judo would have a lot more submissions. I think jiu-jitsu actually came before. I think it was the mother art, and would have like, it was jiu-jitsu had a little bit of striking and judo in it. So that's what jiu-jitsu was, but it was only trained to samurais. And as it got more and more popular, people were getting more and more injured. So they took away all the things that were injuring their students, and so separate. I think one was judo, which didn't teach like heel hooks or anything like that. The other was jiu-jitsu, and it was your man that went to Brazil, whatever his name was. He was a judo guy, but you couldn't enter professional fights as a judo fighter. You couldn't accept open challenges. It was against the judo way.
Yeah.
So what he did was he called it jiu-jitsu.
But then the Gracies took it over and developed Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, concentrate more on the ground than. So he showed them the basics of which would have been judo, the old judo philosophy before sport judo came out, which would have had submissions, would have had triangles, which would have had all these other locks on it, but didn't show them any of the nasty stuff like leg locks and stuff like that, which would have been part of jiu-jitsu, or any of the striking. Would only kept through the like basic throws, controls, and stuff like that. He was teaching them judo. We called it jiu-jitsu because he didn't want to get in trouble by his master or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And that's why Brazilian jiu-jitsu is called Brazilian jiu-jitsu right now, not Brazilian judo.
He was that guy who came out there a couple of weeks ago and said Gracies, like the original Gracies, the founders of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, would be pretty good purple belts to today's standards.
I think it was Keenan Cornelius. Keenan Cornelius was basically saying that like the standard of jiu-jitsu has evolved so much.
Oh, which I'd agree with.
Yeah, that the fact that if they were around there now and they only had that skill now, that they would be at best purple belts. So if you call them blue belt, some blue belts would be able to kick their ass right now because of the level of jiu-jitsu that came out is so much better. He wasn't dissing them. He wasn't saying their level.
I wouldn't have said it. No, it wasn't. But it is like, think about how many different systems and styles there are now.
Yeah, exactly. Like the sport has evolved, and the sport should continue to evolve. Like I think
absolutely.
In a few years' time, people aren't going to be calling it jiu-jitsu. They're just going to call it grappling. There's going to be much more influences like from wrestling, which there already is now, and like other styles of grappling like sambo that work, which there is once again like leg locks. A lot of sambo people were using leg locks before jiu-jitsu, and even Vale Tudo is another Brazilian grappling art that was more leg lock based and was in nogi, and they never wore the kimonos. So like, and jiu-jitsu stole a lot from that as well throughout the years.
Yeah, that was very scary.
Well,
it's not scary. It's exciting as well, because MMA is mainstream now. The amount of kids doing jiu-jitsu and MMA.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
But like, if you think about it, the amount of kids doing MMA and jiu-jitsu, and the amount of police officers who don't know these martial arts, who aren't trained these martial arts, and what one of these days is you're gonna have a guard or a police officer or somebody who tried to arrest him on his own, who knows all this, and is gonna get his ass handed to him.
Yeah, probably should be mandatory that guards learn a bit of jiu-jitsu or a bit of grappling.
I think like the fact that not every jiu-jitsu has like free women's self-defense, call it self-defense, but you're showing them jiu-jitsu class is beyond me. Like, I think every gym in Ireland or in the world should have a free women's self-defense class, and should also have maybe lowered price for like police officers.
Well, police officers and women, absolutely. Do you do like self-defense classes in a couple of the gyms around here?
Yeah,
well, every gym. Or a couple of guys.
I want to go to one of these self-defense.
So yeah, that's what we're talking about. And going up like in gi, rash guards, full gear.
Imagine going to gi would be like a bit much. Imagine you're going into a self-defense class, everyone else in their gym shorts, at the sports top, maybe a rugby t-shirt, and you rock in in your full gi with your belt tied. They're like, where's this guy going? Is he taking to class?
I just go in your spats and your rash guard and your shorts, and just go up to the guy teaching the class, being like, "Come on, defend yourself! I dare you!"
Going in there, starting a fight with the guy.
yeah.
You never know. This guy, like, he could have a self-defense class there, but he could be like, he might have done jiu-jitsu or
be
like,
very embarrassing if you did go in and he did kick your ass.
Yeah, like he did, like, this could be a guy who did jiu-jitsu. Like, he might call it self-defense, and we're thinking like, he's going to try some bullshit martial art. I'd like to do, and like, I wouldn't say anything to him. I'd wear a rash guard, and I'd wear my grappling shorts or whatever, and I just do the class. I'd pair up with someone. I'd teach the self-defense. And then after the class, if it was bullshit, I go up to him. I go, "You are putting these guys' lives in danger."
Well, I went to a pump class last year with my girlfriend because she was like, "Oh, do you want to come?" And I'd lift weights and work out. And I went to this pump class, and it was me and a room full of what must be about 30 people.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there. I was doing the workout. And I was looking around, there's all these women, like late 30s, early 40s. Also, a couple of older ones as well. But they were doing these kind of supersets, squats and presses and lunges. And I was looking around, and there's this asshole on stage with a microphone just being like, "Oh yeah, keep pumping, let's go, pick up the pace." And I'm looking around at a lot of these people, and their form is just way off, and I'm like, her back is in danger of like being seriously injured, her knees are in danger of being injured.
But like, that's why, like, even circuit classes, which I don't really agree with circuit classes for that reason either. I think, like, people go, "Oh, I want to get into shape, so I'm going to enter a class," and they think they're going to get proper form. Now, if you go into a class and there's 10 people in there, you might get corrected every 3 techniques. But that means that you could be doing 5 or 6 techniques badly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with all these classes like body pump, step classes. I don't agree with any of them because I think it's designed for. I'm not saying they're not hard. I'm sure they're very difficult. But I think people want to go and do it for quick, easy results rather than just because consistency is key.
Well, I think one of the biggest reasons what people do with the gym is they're intended to go in there. They feel. I think that a lot of people feel that they're being judged.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
A lot of people feel like they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to go into a class where you're being told what to do. Everyone else is either in the same boat, or you can just follow someone else. You can just look ahead and you say, "All right, I'm just going to copy what that person's doing." So it's a lot easier. Whereas if you go to a gym and there's all these weird equipment things and there's all these gym rules that you don't know about, and you have to navigate yourself through all these gym rules, and you don't want to piss anybody off, then you're like pissing around on a machine, and there's some guy who has a set routine that he's doing, and you're going to be getting in his way, and you just feel like I think that's why people a lot of times don't go to gyms.
The first time I went to a gym, maybe 18,
that
was totally intimidating. Bunch of Polish dudes there, they're really jacked.
Yeah,
I'm like this little skinny long-haired Irish dude, and I hadn't got a clue what I was doing. I barely lift a bar.
Yeah,
like. I was trying to do bench press, and I was just like, "Yeah, this be grand." And I was like, "I can barely lift this bar."
Yeah,
and I didn't go back for another 2 years, maybe.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are like that because like I think if you don't like football, or if you don't like a sport with a ball in your hand in this country, it's very hard to get into anything else when you're younger, and you're kind of then. You're in your 20s and you feel like you look at yourself and you're like gain on a few pounds. You're like, "Oh, I really have to do something about this." So you have a thing of like, will I go to do this class and just try it, or will I go to this scary gym where I'm being judged by everybody?
I got a personal trainer.
Yeah, I think that's
I got a personal trainer when I went back.
Yeah, see, that's the thing to do. Like, if anybody's looking to get fit, I always say to them, get a personal trainer.
Best thing, I had a personal trainer, a friend of mine.
Get 2 months like personal trainings. Get twice a week.
I stuck with him for a year and a half, man.
Yeah,
Year and a half. I was like,
If you can afford it, stick as long as you can. Stick with a personal trainer.
absolutely. I just had I think it was like 80 euro a month or something like that. I got 3 sessions a week with him.
Yeah,
One was a group session, which was fine. But he'd be telling me what to eat. He had if it's good personal trainer, he was telling me what to eat. He was telling me about meditation, ways to rest my body, to de-stress. He's a really great dude. And I stuck with him for a year and a half, and it changed my life, man.
yeah. I remember you tell me this like when we were training. You're like, yeah, it changed my life.
Yeah, no, it changed my life. Yeah, and I just got crazy into healthy eating, working out, getting fit, staying fit, sleeping properly, looking after my mental health, and that led me into jiu-jitsu eventually.
Yeah, no, the only reason I was able to learn any kind of weight techniques was probably doing kickboxing, which is a good way to do it, because at least then in kickboxing class you're more likely to be corrected. You can fall into the trap of where your trainer does no proper technique as well.
Yeah.
Lucky enough, like I think David and Marek were the ones that mostly looked after me when we were doing these, or Cuba, and they knew the techniques down. They were like showed me pretty big form, but a lot of the techniques I used to do for doing like conditioning classes, like keep your legs straight, keep your back straight, and do deadlifts. And I was like, lift with your back.
I remember a couple of years ago trying to do a push-up.
Yeah.
And I think I got 1, 2 maybe, and I was like, that's impossible. Like I don't know how people are doing that online, but like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some like, I'm sure it's all smoke and mirrors, you know. Like, but yeah, when you learn about form, and I don't know, martial arts is one of the funnest ways to get fit as well.
Yeah, I think like kickboxing classes are really fun. They're really intense. If you go to a good one where you're doing like kind of competition style conditioning classes throughout, you're also learning proper technique. They're quite fun. Jiu-jitsu, like, there's a really good workout when you're grappling. You get weird looking ears, but like,
You make so many friends. If you are a guy in your mid to late 20s, finding it hard to make friends, go to a jiu-jitsu school. Go to a jiu-jitsu gym.
Or even if you're a girl who wants to do a martial art but doesn't want to be punched in the face, and you want to learn something that, like, on the street you can defend against a person that's stronger than you. Go to a jiu-jitsu school.
It is, yeah. Because I find when you get older, it's much harder to make friends.
Yeah, it's more intimidating to do anything. Even going to like a lot of like going to gyms are intimidating. Doing like other classes are intimidating. You don't know if people are doing these for years and years. Because, you know, boxing, people are doing boxing since they're kids, and that's I kind of feel like sometimes it can be a kind of a in club with boxing. Like,
yeah, especially because boxing clubs are very community based as well, you know. It's a very communal thing.
Whereas like a lot of jiu-jitsu schools, most people are there 2 years. You might get the odd person there that has been there 3-4 years, but it's very rare that you find people there like 10 years.
But like in a boxing club, you know, you have old like Frankie Fast Hands who's been there 60 years, and his grandkids are there now, and I was like, alright, well. But yeah, because I was thinking, because I moved up to Nice a couple of years ago, and I had no friends up here. I moved up here for work, and I remember thinking, I was like, I really need some friends. Like, you know, I can't just keep like sitting in my bedroom and going down and drinking coffee. And I remember thinking, I was like, how weird would it be as a grown man to approach someone you don't know and just be like, hey, you know, like, how weird is that? So
it's so easy as a kid. You're like, do you want to be friends? They're like, yeah, let's be friends.
Yeah. Where if someone came up and said hello to me, I'd be like, oh, well, what do you want? Like, what's your problem?
Imagine a guy came up to you, you're in your lunch break, and he was like, can we be friends? And you're like,
no, not a chance.
No, definitely not now.
But yeah, going and taking up jiu-jitsu, like, I made plenty of friends, including yourself.
Yeah.
Very easily and very quickly as well. I find you make friends.
Yeah, a lot of people. I remember Rory was saying it, and there was like a lot of complaints. No, not complaints. We asked for suggestions. There was a lot of suggestions.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
And like a few of the suggestions that were brought in, that people said it was very clicky. Like, and so like after I hear that, because like I think sometimes it can feel like it's very clicky, But the only thing that might be is this is like we know these people for years. Everyone has went through that bit where you're new to a class, you don't really know anybody, but like we all get partnered up anyway. And
you do now. I kind of, cause I had Darren bring me into the gym, so I had an easy ride to get to know everyone.
Yeah, but I think what I say to anybody, if they feel like they're on the outside of a clique in jiu-jitsu, show up to just keep showing up to training and show up to the sparrings, because the sparrings is where you'll get to know people. That's where you're chatting a little bit after the round or a little bit before the round, and just kind of go up to people. Don't be afraid to talk to someone in the gym.
Absolutely. Sparring is, we usually aim for 12 rounds.
Yeah.
That's the thing we've been doing recently. Rory's been trying to 6 in the gi, 6 no gi.
Yeah.
But like, there's 12 rounds, minute in between each. Sometimes you take a round off your third. And that's just chatting and getting to know people and shooting the shit with the guys.
Yeah, exactly. People are over, probably sitting on the water or sitting on the tired. Just go over and chat to them. Then that's a pretty good chance to kind of get to know people. Look, that's how, like, people who show up are people who constantly show up. Generally, the people who I'll be talking to in the gym, because I just see their faces. Where if they're only there once in a blue moon, I kind of like, I don't like. There's so many people. And there's so many people who pass through. It's really hard for me to keep track on everybody's name, and there's guys who have been coming there for years, but they come in there, like, they come once and then I don't see them again for a month. So I'm just simply not going to know your name. You might know my name because I'm constantly there.
Well, yeah, and the whole thing where it's a bit, what you're saying, people are complaining that it's cliquey. We'd see each other at least once a week. Once a week I'm up there. And then I said, like yourself, you're there most days.
Yeah.
And that's consistency over
a year or more. Like,
I've been there a year now, I think. I'm just hitting the year mark.
Yeah.
But that was going up a couple of times a week, and yeah, you really have to put yourself out there. So people are worried about or intimidated to go. It is a part of like pulling the socks up and going in and just getting to know a couple of the guys.
Yeah, exactly. This is like when you're like looking for partners, find a few people, just go to them, and then kind of stick with them, chat to them. Because I know, because when I went to Henzo's and everyone was nice there, but like it was the first time where I was at a gym, and Durham, a guy who went with me, he got injured, so he couldn't really. He got
staff, wasn't it?
He got a cut that looked like staff.
Poor guy.
And it definitely wasn't staff, but someone freaked out and told the teacher that it was staff, and he's not going to take any risk because there's professional athletes who make their living, which pays their gym membership for that gym. So they're like, obviously the gym doesn't want to lose that. They don't staff is an awful thing to go around the gym, and it spreads quite quickly.
I thought I got staff in my knee there last week.
Yeah,
just since it was really bad mat burn.
Yeah, exactly. So, and like of the videos of like people who had staff, it would turn you off.
It's disgusting.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. So you definitely don't want to get staff. So I can understand their concern and to shut that shit down. They'd rather have a person who can't train for a week and that wasn't staffed than it being staff and going through the whole entire gym and having to like clean the place like religiously, which they already did. But I kind of felt that new person at a gym feeling for the first time in a good few years, because since it's such a long time since I joined from Husaria, you can kind of forget what it's like being the new guy in the gym.
That's scary, man.
Especially if you don't know anyone. So I kind of got for the first time in a while, I kind of felt like where I was sitting on the mats and I was kind of like, you're kind of nervous about who will I partner up with. You're kind of looking around for getting the people in the class, seeing if anybody knows anyone. But lucky enough, I got chatting to I was sitting on mats and I got chatting to this Canadian guy, and another time the guy who looked like Gunnar Nelson. I just went up to him and said, "Do you know you look like Gunnar Nelson?" Ended up working with him. He was from Norway.
Nice. I all went down to 10th Planet down in Carlow there about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
I walked in, didn't know anyone. I was with Rory and Big Marius, And I walked in, didn't know anyone, and you had that feeling what you were just talking about. It was like, okay, I don't know anyone here, and it's scary, and you feel small, and you're in your comfort zone. But I think jiu-jitsu just attracts really sound people as well.
Yeah,
I think it's a sport that it's very communal. It's everyone's nice, everyone's there to help you, everyone out, everyone's friends in our gym, I think.
Yeah.
But before I left, I was there for about an hour and a half, getting a few rounds in, and everyone was so nice, and you know that's what you want in the gym. But I was kind of like sitting there in the corner, and everyone's kind of chatting, and
Yeah, because I remember listening to a few podcasts, and I never heard this until I listened to these podcasts of Matt Rules, where a lower belt should never ask a bigger belt to roll.
I don't agree with that.
No, I don't agree with that either. Because especially in Nogi, where you have no idea about the person, and what the person's level is. I always just find the nearest person to me, or that I can roll. I don't want to roll a white belt, so I generally won't ask a white belt. I generally won't ask lower people to roll. I'll maybe ask a blue belt if I'm there, but generally I'm looking for the highest belt person there, and then after or a purple belt. I want to look at either someone who's better than me or someone's on my level to kind of, because I'm not there to to smash people.
My method for rolling is I like rolling with higher belts to start off with.
Yeah.
And then moving on to a couple of the people more at my level, because I'm just going I'll be tired after rolling with higher belts, and I was like, it's not going to be as intense rolling with a couple of people at my level now. After I like to get the hard part out of the way first.
I'm like the opposite. I like a nice, I wouldn't say nice easy roll, but like either a light person, like they can be like a higher belt light person, or a lower belt, but not too big. I don't like rolling heavy guys starting off, because generally my hips aren't kind of warmed up and probably a little bit stiffer. So I like to kind of be able to move around. I like to kind of just get be able to flow a bit at the start, move my hips out. So you generally pick lighter or less experienced people, and just kind of let them try to attack me, and all I'm doing is recover and guard, just warm up my hips, and use that roll as a kind of a warm up, and then the next roll I kind of start building up in terms of the people who are better, and then go heavier, bigger kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. So I usually start off with I'll do Rory first. You can border me.
Yeah, unless you do a really good warm up at the start and you're ready to go. But even a lot of times after the warm up, people do a really shit warm up, and they kind of just do the basic head to toe kind of thing. So just our hips are quite stiff.
I'm getting kind of bad for warm ups now as well. I just kind of just go, I'll just have a first 1 or 2 rounds light, and that'll be my warm up. But it's never light.
If you can go light, and like I said, all you're doing is you're kind of just moving around. You're kind of just warm up your hips. That's what you should be using it for. Or if you're kind of if you're a beginner, you're kind of just setting your technique in right. You're just working on the basics that you like working on. Then go in kind of.
Definitely recommend warming up. Another thing I haven't been doing, which was very stupid of me, I was rolling without a mouth guard for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh man, my mouth got cut up so bad.
Yeah,
inside my mouth.
I went a month without, because I was just meaning to buy it.
Same, just laziness on my part.
Yeah. And then I bought one, and didn't heat it up properly. I just left it in the pocket. I was like, I'll do it later. And then but I kind of got used to it. There's some people don't like wearing them because they feel like it feels weird in their mouth. They can't breathe with it properly. They feel like you get kind of mouth claustrophobic, kind of, if that makes sense.
I get that. My thing was what I really didn't like about wearing a mouth guard was the bacteria side of it, because I've taken it out in the gym.
Yeah.
And my hands has just been all over the mat. My hands have been all over my sweaty partner, the guy I've been rolling with. And then I'm picking it back up and putting it back into my mouth. So that kind of started freak me out. But I got a head to the gym there last week, and rattled my teeth, and I was like, oh, if that was harder, that could have broken my teeth there. So I'm gonna have it back to put it back in my mouth.
I'm kind of thinking about it. Should I get mouthwash and just steep it, or get some kind of a
salt water would do it, I'd imagine.
Yeah, salt water, but I don't want to like have the salty taste every time I put it.
I wouldn't want salty taste sucking on it between rolls, like.
Yeah, like, or some kind of like, there's a kind of like safe to drink kind of a disinfectant for your mouth guard, because like it's going for your mouth and you're touching it with your hands.
Yeah, and then just
throwing it into like a little plastic bottle.
Something really gross happened to me a couple of weeks ago.
What, putting someone else's?
No, that happened to me before. Actually, it's horrible, man. I think it was Darren's mouth guard, because I put it in and I was like, oh no, that was really gross. Because straight away,
did he put it back in his mouth, or did he like?
I can't remember if I warned him or not. I think I might have. Hopefully I did. If not, Darren, I'm sorry if you're listening.
Imagine he's like, oh fuck it.
But couple of rounds in was a open mat, and had a really big dude. He was just on top of me. He was on my chest, and he was pumping sweat. And I was trying to catch my breath, and as I was catching my breath, like a decent amount of his sweat just drifted straight into my mouth. Just fucking, it was disgusting. Man.
That is really bad. Yeah, there's nothing worse.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than that. Yeah, you're just like,
oh my god. Yeah, right into your mouth.
Like right into my mouth, man. Yeah, it was like, I was like, can I stop this roll over that?
The worst is like when you're rolling with someone really sweaty and they either get a high mount or they get like they're in a triangle or they're in a position where like they're really sweaty and you just know their balls are like 2 inches away from your mouth. You're like, just don't think about it.
I wonder if there's guys out there who, coming up to competition time, don't wash.
I'm joking about it.
Yeah, just don't wash.
Like, they're wearing the same underwear.
Don't wipe their ass after taking a shit for like 3 days up to the fight. You know?
Yeah, just like wear plastic bags under your pants, so you're just like ultra stink.
Yeah, like locking all that stuff in.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you like if you smelt enough that like the referee could smell it. I wonder if he would get disqualified.
I'd imagine so. I can imagine them being like, yeah, look, you can't be coming in here smelling like that. It's not cool.
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know if it's in the rules, but I think like if I ever do create a competition, like I will definitely have in the rules. If you if you don't have your nails cut,
sharp nails is not nice.
You will be disqualified. I created a rule set in the shower one day.
Really?
Yeah.
You should write it down.
Yeah, I definitely should write it down. But like, one of the biggest difference at IBJF or ADCC scoring is that you give points for being in the guard. So let's say someone takes you down, you end up in the guard. If that person, and I kind of differ on how long this is. Sometimes they say 10 seconds. Sometimes they say 30 seconds. Sometimes I think 3 seconds. But I think 10 seconds is fair. 10 seconds is enough. So if you're in a person's guard for 10 seconds and you haven't broken the guard and attempt to get out, that person gets 1 point. And you only get 2 points for a takedown. So you're only up by 1 point. And if you're in the guard and no one's working in the guard for 30 seconds, you get warning. And then if by the minute no one has moved, you both get to stand up. And whoever's the biggest culprit of why you weren't active, let's say the guy in the guard was just holding you down, or the guy on top was just holding your arms and wasn't moving, they get deducted a point. So it's all about activity. And the same if you're in like let's say De La Hiva guard or Worm guard or something like that, you get a point for being in that guard. So if you get into a De La Hiva guard and you're controlling a person,
Jiu-jitsu.
yeah. We were talking about the rule set.
Yes, yeah.
So like I was saying that like De La Hiva guard, or if you're controlling a person from the bottom for any like length of like more than 10 seconds, I think you should get a point, because you're dominating that fight right there. And I don't think a lot of the biggest problem with jiu-jitsu is they de-emphasize the importance of being on the bottom, or like if you get taken down you get 2 points, but if you're like attacking in the guard, you don't really, unless like it's pretty tight submission attempt, you don't really get a point for it. So they don't emphasize the importance of being in your guard or being in a guard, which I think is wrong, which I think that needs to be, because we're not wrestling, it's a jiu-jitsu fight, and like being in guards are meant to be at aggressive positions, and the positions set up attack. So I think stuff like that needs to be awarded. So that's what I'd mainly be focusing on. More fact that if you're stalling on the ground, you get stood back up.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you're just about lying there and not doing anything.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think like IBJF. I think I'd agree with Dan Strauss when he says IBJF is the pinnacle for the gi, and ADCC is the pinnacle for the worlds.
Do you know I'm trying to... At start a round, I'm trying to start from standing position more now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's another thing I feel like in jiu-jitsu, like people don't know how to take people down.
yeah, well, that's what I was thinking to myself. Like, I always start on the ground, always. Where I think I'd actually have a better advantage starting from top.
Try and take people down. People are afraid of getting guillotined or getting because they don't really know how to take people down. And like that's just something that like I was working on yesterday with like Mike, and something I realized I really haven't spent enough time. Takedowns are something that we really don't work on in the gym enough. Something that I think who do jiu-jitsu, if they don't have it in their game, that are really going to be affected, because like they won't be able to. And I think it's a major hole in a lot of jiu-jitsu gyms games is not being. I think if you go to a school that does MMA, more than likely they'll have a wrestling class on. And it should be important for jiu-jitsu guys to definitely go to those wrestling classes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or even just do judo. People like a lot of guys, because in gyms like their mat space is quite small, and doing takedowns is not safe, or even doing takedowns in the proper sense where you're going through with the technique, and you have to be able to push a person back. So you need to be able to in a space that everyone can fall back and without falling on people. When you're in a smaller convoluted area and you want to do takedowns with people, unless you line everyone up and you get everyone to practice for like a few minutes and then take a few minutes off,
yeah,
it's really not applicable. But I do think it's so important. That's something that a lot of jiu-jitsu gyms, I think if you don't teach on a regular basis, on like at least once a week, ideally you should do it either every class or at least two or three times a week where you're doing takedowns. You're going to fall behind, I think, in the grappling game.
Yeah, but yeah, as I said, I've been trying to work on my standing game recently, and yeah, it's just like I don't know how to take someone down properly. Tall. Yeah. I saw Rory took me down with a double leg before, and he kind of sprung towards me and grabbed my heels. It was very strange how he did it.
Yeah.
I never asked him to show me. I was like, I'd love to know how to do that. Like, how did you do that? Like, I know it's flawless as well, effortless on his part as well.
Yeah,
just took
exactly.
me straight down. But I remember when I first started jiu-jitsu, I was going for leg takedowns and getting guillotined every time.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you do a double leg and you don't have proper form, because even if you come from a rugby base, which is more common than come from wrestling base in jiu-jitsu, they teach you to keep your head down and drive, because all they care about is just knocking a person over. So they're not worried about getting guillotined. Can't guillotine in rugby. So like even guys who come from a rugby base in Ireland and they take someone down, a lot of them land in kind of head submissions, landing guillotines, because guys just grab their head to hold on, and their technique is kind of bad. For like jiu-jitsu, you need like your chest needs to be up straight, but you also need to be entering into your shoulders. A really weird kind of.
I've noticed when you have a couple of new guys coming to the gym and you do a bit of sparring with them and they take you down like that, straight away like rugby played rugby in school. Yeah.
So there you go. Did you do rugby? No, like, a little bit.
Yeah, you can tell.
Or guys who don't tell you that they're judo black belt and they're coming in with a white belt on, or they grab you and like there's something up here. There's something quite not right here.
It's like abort.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this guy's better than I thought. Remember the first time I rolled with Ushin, who's a black belt. He's like, I'm going to say in his early 40s, be kind. And
be kind.
but like he's a judo black belt and he's really fucking tall. I remember the first time
he's a fireman as well.
Yeah, he grabs you and he was like, there's something not right here. It's like, I cannot control this guy.
yeah, Rory's very good. I remember he threw me to the ground one day and he's a really big dude and he came down top of me and I was just like,
yeah.
And he was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, great.
Yeah,
not crying.
Dara threw me before. We were kind of doing.
Is Dara a rugby player?
No, karate. I think he might have done rugby as well, but he knows he can do good double leg, and he goes a good kind of some form of judo throw that I don't know the name of, and he judo throwed me, and all his weight came down on me in this throw, and I was just on top of me. And it took me so long to recover. I was just like, he nearly had me, like, because he completely winded me, and I was like out of breath, and we were like, he was like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, keep going." He wanted like to give in, and he like nearly got me in a darts as well because it took me so long to recover.
Yeah, Spence as well. Spence is a very good man for knocking the wind out of me.
Yeah,
he just come down and drove over my guard and just come down onto my stomach.
Yeah,
I'm just like, oh man, I can't breathe. It's like, you okay? I was like, yeah, fine, yeah, just keep going, yeah.
Man, I think we'll leave it there.
Absolutely, I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry myself. So thanks once again for coming in. I know
Thanks for having me.
We actually end up talking about a lot more than just comic books. This generally happens.
That's the Shite Talk podcast, Vito.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll let you get on.